at the UN. In the meantime, in the strategy room tonight, dirty politics that we have all been witnessing could get even dirtier. We're hearing now we are in the final stretch of this campaign, and it looks like John McCain is reportedly going to pull out all the stops against his rival. The GOP nominee will go after Barack Obama by bringing up his ties to controversial pastor Jeremiah Wright once again, and 1960s radical Bill Ayers, which we just reported a bit on. So will this negative push backfire for John McCain? This is reported today that this is a movement within his campaign. Here now on the left, we have Peter Feld, who is the former strategist for Paul Tsongas and for Michael Dukakis' presidential campaigns. And on the right, Jessica Colon, who is the national chairman of the Young Republicans. Jessica, you know, we've already seen quite a bit of nastiness going back and forth here. Would it be a good move or a bad move for him to start hitting on some of these issues again with regard to, you know, the guilt by association issue, as Barack Obama has called it?
Well, these are the same issues that Hillary Clinton, you know, went after Barack Obama on the primary season. And what this really amounts to is that Barack Obama is still an unknown quantity, and he's not fully vetted. And this is exactly what Sarah Palin is being massacred by the liberal elite and the media elite about, is that they're saying that she's this unknown quantity. Barack Obama remains an unknown quantity, and to have such an association with a man like Bill Ayers, who said on September 11, 2001, that he wishes he could have done more while he was part of the violent left-wing group that blew up defense labs and government buildings, should cause a lot of concern.
What do you think about that, Peter? I mean, you know, is it wrong to talk about these associations that he's had with these people, you know, when people are sort of struggling to put together all the pieces of this man and figure out where he gets his philosophy from?
Well, we know that negative politics works, and that's a sad fact of life. But I think McCain would be a lot better off telling people what he's going to do about the economy. That's what people care about right now. Nobody in their right mind, I think, really believes that Barack Obama would endorse any of the things that Bill Ayers did or what he said on September 11th or anything like it. I mean, Barack Obama is a patriot, and I think McCain accepts that, and I think that we all do. We know that negative politics works, but I think right now we have, you know, a huge crisis that you've been covering.
I mean, this is a scrappy election, as we all know. I mean, these guys are fighting it out. You know, by all estimates, and looking at the polls, and I think you brought this up earlier, it looks like it's about 48-48. I mean, if you look at this race across the board. So are we in the phase of this, Jessica, where, you know, none of it really matters except what might get you that one or two, you know, those one or two people who haven't paid any attention and who might turn around and look at their TV and go, oh, I'm a little uncomfortable with that?
Well, you know, John McCain is an undeniable patriot, and John McCain is a man who is going to look you in the eye, and he is going to tell you exactly what he thinks. And you might not always agree with him, but you know where John McCain stands. He is a known quantity, and this is what American voters are going to go into the election polls and understand and know where John McCain stands on things.
Yeah, but that wasn't my question, Jessica. My question was, are we entering a phase where both sides, equal opportunity here, are going to do whatever it takes? You know, I listened to Howard Wilson the other day, and he was basically saying, look, this is the whatever it takes phase. I mean, if you're in this game to win elections, you're going to do what it takes when you've got 42 days to go. Peter?
Well, number one, I think Barack Obama is a known patriot, and I think that when the other side says that John McCain is a known patriot, they're implying that Obama is not. I've always learned in politics that for an attack to work, it has to have credibility. And I think that the McCain people are going to overreach if they try to imply any deficit in Obama's patriotism, because people won't just believe it, and they're going to say, fine, go slam him for what somebody else said 7 years ago. What are you going to do about my job? What are you going to do about my housing values? What are you going to do about this huge bailout?
All right, well, let's talk about jobs and housing values, because a lot of that's what's playing out in these battleground states, and that may be the most important place to put our focus right now. Let's pull up some of these polls and show you a little bit of what's going on there, because these are going to be the stories that unfold in the next 42 days. Let's take a look at some of the numbers. Barack Obama is ahead, all right, McCain is ahead in these battleground states: Florida, Ohio, and Virginia. Virginia is tighter, Jessica, than many Republicans believe it should be.
Yeah,
what do you make of those
Virginia
numbers?
has been. Well, Virginia has been going through a shift, and the battleground states are evolving as politics tend to do. Well, if you want to talk about, jobs are very important to our young voters. It's a number one, two, or three issue with them always. And Senator McCain has come out. He's addressed this financial crisis quickly. He has come out with ways that he wants to create new jobs for our young people and to keep the American economy thriving. Senator McCain has a solid plan to do this, and he is pushing forward with ways that we could keep our economy on an upswing. And to make sure that a financial crisis like we've been witnessing doesn't happen.
I look at the way that both candidates have handled this question of the economy over the course of this week, and I think it's very fair and balanced to say that neither one of them has, really grabbed any ground on this. Peter, let's pull up the Obama states where he's winning: Colorado, Pennsylvania. Which is, Michigan we've got 51-44 and Pennsylvania 48-45. I mean, Peter, this is a defining issue of the moment, and it doesn't look like either one of them is really pulling ahead here. We've got an extremely tight race here. A lot of people don't know who's going to help them out.
Well, I think, first of all, that these are interesting numbers, and I think Colorado is going to end up being the deciding state, in my own opinion.
Yeah, you're not alone in that. A lot of people feel that way.
But I think that these are all states where people really have a lot of economic anxiety. And when you were talking before about that, whatever it takes election right now, to me, whatever it takes means telling people that whatever your past is, in the future, you can be trusted to put their economic needs ahead of everything else. And McCain last week was stumbling. He kept changing himself from one day to the next as to whether the fundamentals of the economy were good and all those other, the bailout.
We're out of time. We got to go. Thanks, you guys. Jessica and Peter, good having you here. We'll be right back with more. Stay with us.
Tonight, Greta and Bill Clinton go